Welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the value of specific coins, the top 4 most valuable. Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny Coins Value in Market ****. First up, the 1958. Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, and exploring how much value this common but historic coin can carry in normal, dirty, circulated condition in the market today. Many people come across this coin in old jars, in drawers, or inside boxes inherited from relatives and wonder if the final year of the Wheat Penny series might have some hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. While the 1958 Wheat Penny is not considered one of the rarest issues in the Lincoln Cents series, it still holds a special place for collectors because it marks the end of an era. Before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial, reverse that. Started in 1959, when we talk about a 1958 penny without a mint mark, we are referring to the coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint, since Philadelphia did not place mint marks on its cents in that period. In 1958, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, so they are not scarce in the sense of mintage numbers. Because of that abundance, most circulated examples today do not command high prices. However, even common coins can have small pockets of value. Depending on condition, color, overall, eye appeal, and collector demand. 4. Most people who find one of these coins, the condition falls into the category known as circulated. This means the coin has been used in everyday transactions over many years. It may appear brown, dull, or dark. It may carry surface dirt, fingerprints, or old grime. This is what many people casually describe as normal dirty condition. In the coin market, the level of dirt does not really determine the value in itself. What matters is how much of the design is worn away, how smooth the high points are, and whether the coin has any major damage like deep scratches or corrosion. A dirty coin with strong remaining detail is always preferable to a clean coin that has been harshly scrubbed, because cleaning often harms the surface. In today's market, the typical circulated 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is considered a low-value collectible. When sold individually, these coins often bring somewhere in the range of a few cents above face value. Many dealers will pay only a small amount because they already have large supplies in their inventory. A normal, dirty, circulated piece commonly sells for about 5 to 15 cents, depending on demand and the specific appearance of the coin. This valuation is consistent with the general collector trend for the final year of the Wheat Reverse series, where only high-grade or uncirculated examples attract stronger prices. 2. Understand why the values remain modest. It helps to think about supply and demand. The supply of 1958 wheat pennies is still abundant. Many were saved in rolls and jars over the decades because the wheat design had already become a favorite among collectors by the time it was discontinued. This widespread saving behavior means that even today there are countless examples floating around in circulation and in private collections. On the demand side, collectors who pursue wheat pennies usually try to complete date and mint mark sets, and they typically prefer higher grade examples for the final years of the series because they are easier to find in good condition. As a result, most circulated pieces that show heavy wear or dirt simply do not command a premium. That being said, the 1958 wheat penny still holds value in a different sense. It represents a piece of American history from the late 1950s, a period marked by economic growth, cultural change, and rising attention to numismatics. The design by Victor David Brenner, showing Lincoln on the obverse and the classic wheat ears on the reverse, had already been in use for nearly 50 years when this coin was minted. For many collectors, the emotional and historical value adds meaning beyond the small financial value. Owning a coin from the last year of the Wheat series feels like holding the final chapter of a long story in your hand. Another factor worth discussing is how value Changes if a circulated coin shows slightly better detail or has some of the original red or red-brown color left. Even in circulated grades, coins that retain traces of original mint glow can sell for somewhat more than dirty brown examples. They might reach 20 to 30 cents or slightly more, depending on buyer interest. The increase is not large, but it shows how the market rewards originality and eye appeal. On the other hand, coins that have been harshly cleaned, scrubbed or polished always lose value compared to naturally aged pieces because cleaning wears down the metal and leaves unnatural marks on the surface. Say few rare varieties or errors can exist for many wheat penny years, but the 1958 Philadelphia issue is not famous for major dramatic errors fetched at high prices. The well-known 1958 doubled die obverse belongs to the Denver Mint issue and is extraordinarily rare with a value far beyond normal circulation coins, but that variety does not apply to the no mint mark Philadelphia coin that we are discussing here. Therefore, when we focus strictly on a regular circulated 1958 without a mint mark, the pricing stays within the modest range described earlier for anyone considering selling such a coin. The easiest way is to group it with other common wheat pennies. Because bulk lots often appeal to new collectors or hobbyists, single coins in dirty circulated condition may take longer to sell individually because the value is low. Still, it is a fun coin to keep as a historical piece, even if the financial return is not large. For those looking to purchase a 1958 Philadelphia wheat penny as part of a collection, the good news is that the affordability makes it easy to obtain an example that fits your needs. In summary, the most valuable aspect of a normal, dirty, circulated 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is not the price, but the story. In today's market, expect a value of around 5 to 15 cents for most circulated examples. It may not make you rich, but it gives you a link to American history and the final moment of a beloved coin design before it transitioned into a new era. Next up, the 1937 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the S mint mark, and exploring how much this coin can be worth in good circulating condition in today's market. Many people discover this coin in old boxes or inherited collections and wonder whether this early 20th century issue holds meaningful value. The 1937 S wheat penny is part of a period when the San Francisco Mint was still producing relatively smaller quantities compared to Philadelphia, and that fact often gives collectors more interest in the S mint mark pieces from the 1930s. Still, the exact value of any coin depends on its preservation and market demand. When you hold a 1937 S penny in your hand, you are handling a coin from a different era of American life during the later years of the Great Depression, when every cent truly mattered to the everyday person. These coins circulated widely, and by the time they are found today, many show were consistent with long-term use. Good condition in numismatic terms typically means the main design elements are visible, but the finer details are worn down. In this grade, the portrait of Lincoln remains recognizable but shows flattening on the cheek and jaw, and the wheat ears on the reverse appear smooth with only major outlines remaining. This level of wear is expected and acceptable for a coin that spent decades in circulation. The 1937 S penny remains popular among collectors because it belongs to a decade that produced several semi-key and interesting dates in the wheat penny series. Even so, the 1937 S is not considered rare. The San Francisco Mint produced millions of them, and many were saved over time. However, it does carry more collector warmth than the extremely common wheat pennies from the late 1940s and 1950s. This means that even in good condition, it can sometimes bring slightly better prices than some other circulated wheat cents. In today's coin market, a 1937 S wheat penny in good condition does not reach very high dollar values, but it does rise above the level of mere face value. Most dealers and collectors will value a typical good-grade example somewhere in the range of about 20 to 50 cents, depending on the specific look of the coin, the level of remaining detail, and the current demand. For pre-World War II wheat pennies, while this amount is modest, it is notably higher than the value of many late-date wheat pennies, which often trade for only a few cents. Above face value, the value climbs if the coin has strong surfaces and pleasant coloration, even while still fitting within the good range. Natural brown toning, intact surfaces, and freedom from serious damage such as deep scratches, corrosion, or bends can help the coin appeal visually to a buyer. Collectors prefer pieces that show honest, even wear, instead of those that have been cleaned or polished. Cleaning a coin reduces value because it strips away the natural surface that took decades to form and can leave hairline marks that show up under light. A naturally aged coin in good condition will always be worth more than an aggressively cleaned coin in the same technical grade. The story of this coin adds another layer of appeal. The design of the Lincoln wheat cent, created by Victor David Brenner, had already become iconic by 1937. The familiar profile of Lincoln paired with a classic wheat ear reverse represented a strong symbol of American stability during a decade of economic hardship. Holding a 1937 S penny is like touching a small piece of history from a turbulent but important chapter of the nation's past. Many collectors appreciate this connection, which contributes to ongoing demand for earlier wheat cents. Although the 1937 S penny does not usually contain major rare errors or dramatic varieties that skyrocket its value, the coin still fits into many desirable collecting themes. Some collectors build short sets of San Francisco mint wheat pennies. Others assemble full date and mint mark runs covering the entire wheat penny era from 1909 to 1958. In all these sets, the 1937 S plays a comfortable role as a mid-era piece that adds historical balance. Its value as part of a larger collection is often greater than its value as a single coin. It is worth noting that higher grades bring higher prices. A 1937 S penny in very fine condition or extremely fine condition can rise into the $1 to several dollar range, and uncirculated examples can reach significantly more. But when we focus strictly on a coin in good condition, the value remains within the more modest bracket mentioned earlier. That said, this modest value does not diminish its interest to many collectors who seek authentic circulated pieces that show the journey of time. For someone who has found one of these coins and is thinking about selling it, the most common way to do so is through a local coin shop, online marketplaces, or by including it within a group of mixed wheat pennies. Single good condition 1937 S pennies can sell individually but often move faster as part of small sets or bulk lots. Buyers who enjoy the history of the wheat penny era appreciate having multiple dates to explore, so grouping can sometimes increase the appeal for collectors looking to purchase one. The good news is affordability. A 1937 S penny in good condition allows beginners and enthusiasts to own a pre-war San Francisco mint coin without spending much money. It is a perfect entry piece for anyone building a date and mint mark, set on a budget, or simply wanting a historically meaningful coin to add to a collection. Summary: the 1937 S Lincoln wheat penny in good condition carries more historical value than monetary value, but still holds an appealing place in the market. In today's market, it typically brings between 20 and 50 cents, depending on appearance and demand. While not a rare treasure, it remains a meaningful coin from an important era, and continues to attract collectors who appreciate the story behind every circulated penny that has survived nearly 9 decades. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark, and explore how much value this coin can hold in dirty, circulated condition in today's market and what makes it interesting to collectors. Even though it is one of the later dates of the wheat cent series, many people find this coin in jars and boxes and in family keepsakes and wonder whether a 1956 wheat penny could be worth more than just 1 cent, especially when the coin looks worn, dark, and covered in the kind of surface grime that comes from decades of circulation. The 1956 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and, as with most Philadelphia issues of the 1950s, there were extremely large production numbers. The Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, which means the 1956 wheat penny is not rare in the general sense. Because of that, the basic value of a circulated example stays on the lower side. But collectors still have interest in these coins because the wheat penny series is one of the most widely collected coin series in American numismatics. Every date from 1909 to 1958 holds a place in the larger historical timeline of the Lincoln cent series, and the 1956 penny represents the second to last full year before the wheat reverse design was replaced in 1959 when a coin is found in dirty condition. This usually means it has accumulated natural grime from decades of use. The surfaces are typically dark brown, maybe even close to black in some areas, and the high points of the design show noticeable flattening. In the coin collecting world, this is called circulated condition. Dirt itself does not automatically reduce value, since collectors care more about honest wear than about something that can be lightly rinsed away with safe handling. What the market does not favor is any coin that has been aggressively cleaned or polished, because that removes natural metal and damages the surfaces. A dirty but naturally aged coin is always preferable to a shiny but harshly cleaned one. In today's market, the value of a 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny in dirty circulated condition remains modest. Most examples sell for somewhere between 5 and 15 cents, depending on the level of where the visual appeal and current collector demand. Although this is not a high dollar amount, it still reflects an increase over face value and gives the coin a small collectible premium. Coins with lighter wear or more intact design details may rise slightly above this range, while heavily worn and damaged pieces may fall to just a few cents above face value. Reason values remain low for the 1956 wheat penny is rooted in supply. During the mid to late 1950s, many people began saving wheat pennies because they recognized the design might soon change. As a result, millions of them were set aside in rolls and jars rather than being spent. This saved supply continues to affect the market today. For collectors building basic sets, the 1956 penny is easy to find and therefore rarely generates high bids unless it is in uncirculated condition or features exceptional eye appeal. Still, the 1956 wheat penny holds significance in the overall narrative of the series. The classic wheat ear reverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, had been in use since 1909, and by 1956, that design had already served nearly 5 decades of American history. This includes 2 world wars, the Great Depression, and major cultural shifts throughout the country. Each coin carries the character of that history, even if its financial value is not large. Collectors who appreciate the feel of history in their hands often enjoy keeping circulated wheat pennies regardless of grade or rarity. Another important point is that the 1956 no mint mark ISSUE is not known for major dramatic errors that command high premiums. Although minor varieties exist in almost every year of coinage, the 1956 Philadelphia wheat penny is generally considered a straightforward issue with no widely recognized high-value errors. That means that for most people, the value of their coin will fall in the same modest circulated range. However, careful collectors still enjoy examining their coins for any potential die cracks repunched. Mint marks or small irregularities that add interest, even if they do not dramatically increase the value for someone looking to sell a 1956 wheat penny in dirty condition. The most practical method is often to include it in a group of wheat pennies rather than selling it individually. Bulk lots tend to attract buyers who enjoy sorting through coins and building sets or searching for varieties. If you choose to sell individually, you may still find buyers, but the price will remain within the low range mentioned earlier. If you simply want to know whether the coin is worth saving, the answer is yes. Because wheat pennies remain popular with new collectors and wheat stick, ruby kiss, wool may ruby kiss, only ruby kiss has the luxurious, kiss has the luxury skissed, it's skays. It's live to lees. It's wive skiply skiv, kiyeed. It is recon kiss, remade. Wime squeeze. Why may squeed squeed. Why squeed, may caliph. Why squeed, we a guess squeed. We were so carried, but to make it, we se live. We may make we sigh, we may made it. Continue to represent a fun starting point in coin. Collecting for a collector looking to buy a 1956 penny, the advantage lies in affordability. Good circulated examples are inexpensive and easy to obtain. This makes the 1956 no mint mark coin a great choice for beginners who want to fill a space in their album without needing to invest heavily. For more advanced collectors, the search may focus on finding a high-grade example with strong, original color, but for most people, the circulated version offers a satisfying combination of history and accessibility. In summary, the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in dirty circulated condition does not command a high price in today's market. Most examples fall in the range of 5 to 15 cents. While the monetary value is modest, the historical significance and the enduring appeal of the wheat penny design keep collectors interested in this coin. It may not be the rarest or most valuable wheat penny, but it remains a part of the story of American coinage and continues to draw attention from anyone who enjoys exploring the past through the coins that have traveled through countless hands over the decades. Next up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel penny, and consider how much value this coin can have in dirty circulated condition in today's market. This is one of the most interesting years in the entire Lincoln cent series because the United States Mint produced pennies made of steel coated with zinc instead of the usual copper. The year 1943 stands out because copper was needed for wartime production during World War II, so the Mint switched to steel for a single year. That change created one of the most recognizable and historically meaningful coins ever made, and collectors have been fascinated by it for generations. The 1943 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint and can be identified by the small D mint mark below the date. When new, these coins had a shiny silver-like appearance because of the zinc coating. Over time, however, the coating can wear away and expose the darker steel beneath, which often causes the coin to look dirty, gray, dull, or spotted. Many circulated examples also show rust or corrosion because steel reacts much differently than copper when exposed to moisture. When people today refer to a dirty 1943 D steel penny, they usually mean a coin that has lost its original shine and picked up decades of grime, oxidation, and discoloration. With this worn and dirty look, the 1943 D wheat penny remains one of the most commonly collected coins in the United States. Millions of collectors want at least one example because it represents a remarkable moment in history. However, the value of the steel penny depends heavily on condition. A shiny, bright, uncirculated piece can be worth several dollars or more, while a heavily worn, dirty circulated one usually brings only a modest amount. Because the Denver Mint produced a very large quantity of these, Pennies, they are not scarce today in well-worn condition. In today's market, a typical 1943 D steel penny in dirty circulated condition usually sells for around 10 cents to 50 cents depending on how worn the surface is, or how much of the zinc coating remains and how much rust or spotting the coin shows. Dealers and collectors often price these coins based on overall appearance because the steel composition makes every coin age differently. A dirty coin that still has a decent amount of its zinc coating may bring the higher end of that range, while a coin that is deeply rusted or pitted from corrosion may fall near the lower end. Even though the value is modest, the 1943 D steel penny remains interesting because there is a famous rare variety from 1943 that many people mistakenly believe they may have. The extremely valuable coin is the 1943 copper penny, not the steel penny. Only a few genuine 1943 copper cents exist, and they can be worth huge amounts of money. But the standard 1943 D steel penny made from zinc-coated steel is common and usually worth less than $1 in circulated dirty condition. This is important to understand because many people think they have a rare coin only to learn that their piece is the normal steel type, which was made in large quantities. Collectors prefer steel pennies that still show sharp detail on Lincoln's portrait and good definition on the wheat ears on the reverse. In dirty circulated condition, much of this detail is softened and the metal often shows uneven color. Some collectors enjoy the natural aged look because it illustrates how the coin survived through time, but the value remains tied to condition. Cleaning these coins is strongly discouraged because cleaning will scratch the zinc surface and remove what little original coating remains. A cleaned steel penny almost always loses value. A coin that looks dirty but has natural aging and no harsh scrubbing is more appealing to collectors. The 1943 D penny also tells a story about American industry during wartime. Steel pennies were a symbol of rationing and national effort. They passed through the hands of soldiers, families, factory workers, and everyday citizens who lived through a dramatically different era. Because of this strong historical connection, many people keep a 1943 steel penny even if it is not worth much on the market. The coin carries an emotional weight far greater than its price suggests, and that makes it a constant favorite among new and experienced collectors alike. If you are thinking of selling a dirty, circulated 1943 D penny, the simplest way is to include it in a small group of wheat cents or sell it individually as a curiosity piece. Because they are common in circulated condition, dealers often pay only a small amount and usually have many in stock already. Online marketplaces may give slightly better results because buyers often look for affordable examples to start their collections. However, you should still expect the price to fall within the 10 to 50 cent range for most average dirty circulated pieces. You are a collector looking to buy one. The advantage is that they are inexpensive and easy to find. You can search for one with a natural aged look and no major rust spots and build a nice representation of this historically important year without spending much money, completing a full set of 1943 steel pennies, including the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco versions, is also very affordable and a popular project for newer collectors. In summary, the 1943 D Lincoln Wheat Steel penny in dirty circulated condition typically carries a value of about 10 to 50 cents in today's market. While not rare in this grade, it remains one of the most historically significant and visually distinctive coins ever produced by the United States Mint. It may not bring a high dollar amount, but its story, the wartime background, and the unique steel composition continue to make it a favorite among collectors who appreciate owning a piece of American history that has survived more than 8 decades and countless hands along the way.